I've spent thousands of dollars on AI tools in the last year alone, and I've discovered one thing that most people still haven't figured out yet. The real power of AI isn't just using one AI tool very well. It's about combining multiple AI tools in a strategic workflow to create an unfair advantage. Today I'm going to show you how to combine 5 different AI tools, including Poppy AI, to create a workflow that will put you in the top 1% of productivity and output quality. This is the exact system that I use to create 10x more content than my competitors, research topics 5 times faster than manual methods, generate ideas that actually convert, and build systems that run while I sleep. So let me show you how it works. Alright, so the goal is to go from raw action to execution while being super effective and super productive. So what I actually have mapped out right here is all the tools that we're going to be talking about, while the main hub is going to be Poppy AI, which I actually have right here. And then all these other tools are going to be satellite tools, because these satellites are going to orbit around the main hub, which is Poppy AI. So we're going to cover, a tool which is going to map, which is going to go over intelligence mapping, which is like a visual board, pretty much Poppy AI. Second is going to be covering market research. Third is going to be covering collaborative analysis, which is going to be where you're going to analyze all the things you're doing with your team. Fourth is going to be workflow automation. So first of all, if you're not using, automation to automate something in your workflow, then you're literally behind of 99% of people. And then 5 is going to be knowledge sharing, because you need a good way to share your knowledge on certain things that you're teaching. And Poppy AI is the main hub because all these other tools I'm going to mention are going to enhance it, not replace it. So if I just actually zoom out over here, you can see the first one, which is going to be the main hub. This is going to be, if I delete this, Poppy AI. So this is pretty much your tool for planning, idea mapping, and visual mapping. So pretty much, if I even go over to a different board over here, let's go to personal brand board. You can see I have all my videos here, I have all my different structures, but I didn't get this just, by creating it myself. I didn't write all of this, obviously. This is too much words to be writing. These are specific frameworks for specific things, which goes into the second tool, which is going to be covering market research. So the first satellite is actually going to be Perplexity AI, and it didn't really load right there. But if I go over to my browser, go over to Perplexity AI, and I pretty much plug all of my insights from this tool into Poppy AI so I can structure my strategy way better. So for example, let's say I want to learn something about, the new Meta Ray-Bans or something like that. I can search up Meta Ray-Bans and then just leave it like that, Meta Ray-Bans, and you can see what Perplexity AI does is it actually collects from different sources, but it's going to fact check it too. It's going to make sure these are actually right. So it pretty much scrapes the entire search page, and it gives me an actual pretty good summary of everything, that I search for. But you can see the summary is pretty good, and Google's starting to do this a little bit as well. Like if I go over to the search bar and I search up what's Thanksgiving, something generic and simple, you can see Google actually have added this as well. But I say Perplexity is way better still, because it's super refined and it pretty much takes out all of that fluff. It even gives you some related FAQs. You can ask follow-up questions, and if you go over to these other tabs, you can see things that are super related to what you searched up as well. Pretty much Perplexity is the no fluff version of Google search bar. So I pretty much plug all of my insights from here into Poppy AI, which is where I would structure my strategy. You can add like a text box, or even you can just go over to here, copy this, put, click on website, then paste it right in here, and you can just see it pop up right here, and then, connect it to an AI chat and do anything that you want. So we already went over intelligence mapping, which is pretty much Poppy AI, and we went over market research, which is Perplexity AI. But next is going to be collaborative analysis, as well as workflow automation. These are pretty much tied together though. I'll probably put these together. But second is going to be Notion AI. This is pretty good because this can literally be your CRM. Like I know some people use Level, some people use HubSpot, things like that. But Notion is slowly becoming really good at, this type of stuff. So Notion AI is definitely going to be a really good one. But it also combines with the third satellite, which we're going to talk about soon. But if I ever go over to my search bar, search up Notion AI, we can click on the first one here. You can see Notion does a bunch of AI stuff. Actually, I'm gonna get out of this and let's go to, for example, let me just go to Notion and then show you how the AI actually is. Alright, so I'm in Notion AI. I just clicked on the top left, which you can see it says get answers powered by knowledge from AI in your workspace, which is pretty crazy because if you use Notion and you have an actual entire workspace in your CRM in here, you can just ask the AI any question and get any details on your actual workspace and on all of your data. So if you just go over to the AI chat, you could ask it any questions, like to summarize projects you're currently working on. You can ask it to create a data sheet, and this pretty much combines really well with other workflow automation tools such as make.com, which is the third one. The third satellite, if I uncover this, is going to be make.com or even Zapier. I just prefer make.com. So if I go over to make.com really quickly, I want to show you how these actually link together. Let me just go over to a template and get some random data sheet. So I can put data sheet. You can go to I'll get a table one. All right, so I found a really good one called Daily Planner. So we're gonna click on this one. Let's say you wanna use this specific table. I press preview because I'm not actually gonna do it, but let's say you wanna do this and you wanna have like an automation to this specific table. You can actually head over to make.com. Let me just log in really quickly. So just click on new scenario, then go over to this, this empty canvas right here. You can see you can just connect Notion here. So I'm just gonna click on the plus button, type in Notion. Now you can press on show more, but most importantly, if you scroll down, you can see updated page content. So you're gonna click on that, then you can actually connect the page ID, and the type is going to be, let's say like it's like a table. You can just connect the corresponding one, and then you could just update the table straight from make.com from an automation that can be triggered by anything else. So this means that when you actually get the data from Perplexity and put it into Poppy and you structure your strategy, you can actually implement that into Notion AI, which is like your CRM or like your database, and you can put all that information into here, and then you can have some automations triggered so that it goes into the database. And you can just use Perplexity AI to research how you can make this more effective and use Poppy to help you structure your strategy. But I actually want to show you some examples, or an example really quickly. I actually have been using it a little bit for my outsourced tasks pretty much. So for example, for editors, I have been using, you can see up here, I've been using AI to help automate this. So pretty much after a video is done, it gives me the automated amount and how much I'm going to use that, or how much I'm going to spend that month or that day or that week, etc. After I find this a lot more, but I have been playing around with it, and make.com and Notion is an amazing duo together. Especially if you combine it with Perplexity and Poppy AI. There's just so many use cases for this, and this tech stack pretty much covers a lot of stuff already. But the fifth one, which is going to be the last one, is knowledge sharing. So if I just click here, I delete this, boom, you can see it's just Loom pretty much. If you're going to share any information, there's no better way to share it rather than Loom. Now I know what you're probably thinking, but I can just use OBS or Screen Studio or something like that. But the whole point of Loom is that it's cloud-based. Everything that you record is going to be uploaded to the cloud. You don't have this, on your actual computer, stored. No storage is being used here. And also with Loom, you can record as many videos as you want. If I go over to my Loom right now, you can see hundreds of videos, which I'm not going to show. And especially if you're doing outreach, like Loom outreach, this is going to be really helpful. And you can just use Poppy AI and Perplexity to research what type of Loom outreach works best for your niche and your industry, etc. So this is pretty much my entire tech stack. All these 5 tools combined, this is going to be pretty crazy. I recommend you try it for yourself. This is going to help you out a ton. And to be quite honest, without this tech stack right here, I wouldn't be able to create such crazy Poppy AI, structures and frameworks. For example, if I go over to my personal brand board, you can see, as you saw earlier, I have a bunch of different frameworks. I have my videos connected to groups, and I have just a bunch of text here and everything like that. So if I zoom in a little bit here, you can see I have my ICP, I have my videos, I have, what makes a good script, some good hooks, everything like that. I'm not going to show everything, but, without that tech stack that I showed you earlier, without this tech stack, I wouldn't be able to do a lot of the stuff that I'm doing today, and I wouldn't be able to be as efficient and productive as I am today. So if you enjoyed this video, be sure to leave a like and subscribe. And if you want to access Poppy AI to get a huge discount code, click the first link in the description and you'll get access to that. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.